Hey friends, Lucian here with the Bullish Bears team. Wanted to make this video on swing trading penny stocks. I'm going to go over some of the do's and the don'ts, and I'm going to give you some helpful resources along the way that'll help make the process easier for you. So first off, let's talk about penny stocks, what they are, and kind of go over the concept of penny stocks, because some people will think of penny stocks as just sub $1 level stocks, right? So stocks under $1. Well, technically, penny stocks go up to the $3 range. So technically, penny stocks are anywhere sub $1 all the way up to $3. But there are many people that think of penny stocks and they think of stocks up to $10, right? So stocks that are up to the $10 range fall in the small cap arena. So some people might think when they're saying, oh, I want to day trade or trade penny stocks, they might include stocks from $3 up to $10 range in that small cap sector. So it's kind of all, when you're thinking about penny stocks, just kind of gauge for yourself, what do you mean by penny stocks? Are you looking at stocks sub $1, stocks up to $3, or stocks up to the $10 range, right? So if you're thinking of swing trading stocks sub $1 level, you have to be extremely careful. Very well known for pump and dumps. The charts are not so good, and it's so important when you're trading any type of stocks, whether it's penny stocks or larger cap stocks, you have to know patterns, right? You got to know the technicals. Do your proper fundamental research. We are chartists. We are more of a technical trading company. We teach people the technicals because if you really think about it, the technicals are basically the footprint that's left by the fundamentalists. So people that do fundamentals and they're buying and selling stocks, well, they leave a trail, which are candlesticks, and candlesticks form very important support and resistance levels. So while it's important to do your fundamental research on a stock, you got to know where to enter and where to exit. You can't just buy a stock and just hope it goes up and it goes up forever, right? Stocks go up and stocks go down. Traders take profits. So again, we teach the technicals of where you would enter and where you would exit a trade. We teach you technicals of the patterns, right? The candlestick patterns. Really important to know because those are the clues on when to enter and when to potentially exit a trade. So I'm going to show you some real world examples. Just want to talk about some of this stuff at first because trying to swing trade sub $1 stocks, extremely difficult. Not saying it's not able to be done. It's very risky. You have to know your candlestick patterns and you have to get a good entry. So that's for the sub $1 level. I would say even up to that $3 range, anything under $3, you got to be very careful because they pump really quick and they dump really quick. And swing trading for a long period of time is extremely difficult. So I don't want to be negative, but you have to be really good at what you're doing. We teach you the technicals. It's able to be done. Again, following moving average lines, buying near moving average lines, support levels, incredibly important. I'll show you some charts of what to look at. Just kind of giving you some of the negatives up first, and then I'm going to give you some of the positives because our watch lists that we do each night, on our watch list, we do a combination of low float up to higher float stocks, and we actually put stocks on our day trade watch list up to the $20 range. So many of them, they fall under that small cap sector and they move where they're less likely to pump and less likely to dump. And many of them, because they're medium range or medium float to higher float stocks, they don't pump and dump as quickly. So you'll see on many of our watch lists stocks that run and you have time to get in and out of them and they're not super volatile because volatility comes with those low floats, those under 20 million float stocks. They pump up and they dump really quickly. But you'll notice on our watch list, we put some low floaters, but we also have ones in the 50 to 100 plus million range. And if you watch those stocks, many of them run like a larger cap stock because they're not really high, they're higher float. So when they break out, many a times they'll ride the moving average lines and you might be able to be in them for a couple days or so. So that's where I want to highlight. I'm going to show you just a couple from our watch list today as real world examples, but make sure you follow our watch list. We post them daily on our website. The link is below, and I'll show you that right over here. So our website here is bullishbears.com. You'll see our day trade watch list here. Our swing trade watch list is more of the larger cap stocks, right? So we do a day trade watch list every day. Swing trade watch list is updated several times a week. But I want to also draw your attention to our trade alert setups. We put our setups in conjunction with our watch list. We do real-time trade alerts as well. This is for larger cap stocks. But on our day trade watch list right over here, we do our setups, which shows you potential entry and exit levels. So we map out support and resistance. And if you pay attention to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll see we post several videos per week on how we build our watch list. So you'll see us setting up these alert levels and mapping out support and resistance levels. So when you watch us build our watch lists, you'll see us creating these alert levels right here. And then you'll be able to see the support and resistance levels so that if you get a good entry, you'll know where to potentially exit. And the reason why our watch lists are really good too, because they're the medium to higher float stocks, they're not the ones that are on everybody's radar in the morning because everybody's watching Trade Ideas. Now, we love Trade Ideas. We post their gappers daily. They're an awesome scanner. But that's where the herd also is in the morning. So if you want the low floaters, the super high volatility, the ones that pump and dump really quickly, Trade Ideas is where it's at. That's where you're going to be able to get in, get out. You might be in a trade for less than 5, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, maybe up to a minute, right? But on our watch list, many of them run kind of like a larger cap stock because of the high float. So you can have the chance to be in them sometimes for 15, 20 minutes, an hour, maybe even a couple days, depending on your entry. I'm going to show you again some real world charts to show you some examples of how the ones that pump and dump, and then the ones that kind of run and kind of move like a larger cap stock from our watch list. But if you want to trade, these penny stocks, you're getting a good entry is really important. So obviously buying near support levels. But if you watch our watch list videos, if you're looking to try to do them on the sub $3 levels, then watch how we build our watch list, because you'll be able to see if you do them yourself, finding stocks that are holding their highs at the end of the day during power hour. So if you're looking to get a sub $3 stock that's about ready to break out potentially, the ones that we put on our watch list, a good time to get them is right before the market closes. Wait for the pop so you get it at the end of day near power hour. Once a stock, in the morning gaps up and breaks out, then you sell it. But again, that's technically not really swing trading. You're kind of holding it overnight, going for a quick pop. Again, it's very hard to swing trade penny stocks. And again, I'll show you why, because of the pump and dump. So let's look at some low floater ones. I'll just pick some random ones from today, and let's look at some daily charts. Here's EDSA. You'll see under 10 million, right? So that's under 10 million float. When you're swing trading, right, you want to find ideally an identified trend and ride that trend up. The problem is, look at here's a low float stock right here, EDSA. It's in a downtrend. So it's hard to go bullish in an up, go up on a stock that's continuously trending down. Now, are there opportunities to at times? Yes. You have to find them, right? So you can see right here, look at it, just the stock's just trading sideways. You want to find something like, let me see if there is even a good uptrend. Look at it. And so this, right? All of these crazy candlesticks make it extremely difficult to trade, right? So I'm actually just kind of scanning through here and seeing, is there even anything maybe somewhat back here? Like I'd have to see a little bit back here. See how it's going up above the moving average lines? You don't have very long, right? See this thing pumped up and then it just dumped right back down. So you want to get nearer to support levels, but the problem is on these penny stocks, there's not much to look at, or there's not many chances. So if I show you a stock, let's say like Amazon, a larger cap stock, this is how you would want to swing trade. So you would want to ideally get something that's moving up. See, it's kind of moving up the moving average lines right here. So you can kind of be in it for a few days, you know, as it's riding up the moving average lines, being at support levels. That's ideally, you can see stock is in an uptrend, kind of goes up, traders take their profit, comes back down, kind of goes back up again, traders take their profit, comes back down. That's ideally what you'd want to do when you're doing swing trading, whether you're doing swing trading a stock like Amazon or a penny stock. The problem is penny stocks don't do the typical runs like you would see here with Amazon. So that was just to show you with EDSA. Again, I'll just pick random ones. DMAC right here. Pumps up, kind of dumps back down. Now inside of here, let's take a look here and see if there would have been any good chances to swing trade this stock. You know, going back to, let's say, the pump. Where did it pump up? All right. There we go. That's my... Sometimes Thinkorswim's charts are not the greatest. So maybe... So this one kind of had an inverse head and shoulders. This is where you'd like to see patterns, right? So you can see kind of a left shoulder, a head down here, and a right shoulder. So now you can see kind of an inverse head and shoulders. So here's a pattern. So that's a good thing, right? But as you can see, these candles are all over the place, make it very challenging. They're not really clear cut, a lot of wicks and shadows. But as you can see, it broke out of this neckline here, which is great, but then it gets crazy, right? So you got to take your profit within a couple days or so, and then it slams back down. Now, you don't know that it was going to hold and continue up here. This would shake you out because it moves up, overextended, slams right back down to the breakout area, right? So it broke out, came back, and slammed right back down. So swing trading, you'd like to be able to be in it for a few days. This would have shook you out. So you could get a pop, but it's very difficult, as you can see, to stay in that trade longer term, right? So with penny stocks, you're going to have to take your profits really quickly. And, you know, swing trading, where you might be able to be in a larger cap stock a week or 2 or 3 weeks, with a penny stock, swing trading, you might have to get it in your mind. Maybe I hold it for possibly a day or two, capitalize on the breakout, and then take your profit. Let's take a look at a couple more, and then I'll show you ones from our watch list of what to look at. So let's look at HEBT, right? Here's another kind of penny, you know, sub $3 stock, low float, just in a complete downtrend, right? So obviously you want to be able to go on a stock that goes in a run or an uptrend to swing trade, but you can see it's just kind of in a downtrend. CLWT, right? See all these crazy pumps and dumps. You can make a ton of money trading this, but this is day trading, right? So here's a day a stock gaps up from 318 to 1173, dumps right back down. This is your typical flow of a penny stock. Day traded up, right back down. So where do you swing trade this? It's very difficult, right? Because the stock, the candlesticks are all over the place. So when you're swing trading on any type of stock, you want to go in that flow, like going back to ideally with Amazon. You want to see this type of kind of flow, has a stock in an uptrend, you know, stock goes up, pulls back down, gives you a nice little hammer above the moving average lines, and then you can ride it up, and then when the stock closes, let's say below the 9 EMA, you can get out. You can take profits when it gets overextended, but you want to find this kind of clearly defined kind of uptrend. Now, when you try to, this is kind of what you're doing in a daily chart, right? Now, when you go and you look intraday and you're trading penny stocks in general, now look at the charts intraday, right? Many of these ones will go up and they'll look really good pre-market, right? You'll get these nice flags here, and then at market open, it just quick candle up and dumps right back down, right? So what I want to show you from our watch list, and this is where it gets really fun to trade, where you can take kind of our watch list and you can turn them into like a shorter term swing trade or a longer day trade, where, you know, these small cap stocks, you might only be able to be in them for seconds. Our watch list ones, because they're medium to higher float, they might allow you several minutes, up to an hour, several hours, and sometimes a couple days or more, because they're not on everybody's radar like EDSA is on everybody's radar today. So why is EDSA on everybody's radar? Well, it has a lot of volume, it's low float, and it looks like it had news this morning. So that's where all the day traders are watching. Whereas our watch list, you'll see over here, they don't have as much volume. Some of them have 500,000, 400,000, 1,000,000, 800,000. This is okay. You ideally want volume, but it's easier to get in and out of 1,000, 2,000 shares, under people's radar over here. You'll get in and out over here, but there's going to be lots of volatility. There's only 7 million shares to be traded, right? Where you can see over here 30 million, 70 million, 40 million. It's not on everybody's radar. And because of that, many a times you'll get better patterns like this, which I'll show you on the intraday charts. And if you get a good entry, you might hold it for a day or two, or you can trade it intraday without having to be in and out of it super quickly like you would on a candle like this. So let me show you some examples from our watch list. Again, you'll see this was our one last night. You'll typically see on our watch list, out of 5 of them, 1 or 2 might run really well. One will be like, and a couple are kind of duds. But our trigger rate runs really well. So our trigger rate really, these do pop off. It's just sometimes you'll see right now it's negative, but it may have popped up 5 cents and then dumped down. You might see another one that runs 50 cents or $1, and then another one that runs 20, 30 cents. But remember, what are you trying to gauge, make on each trade, right? If you're trying, especially in the penny stock sector, you make 15, 20, 30, 40 cents. That's a really good trade. You got to have realistic expectations. Buying a penny stock at 15 cents and holding it till it goes to $2 to $3, not very realistic, because it's going to pump and dump, and your emotions are going to go crazy with it, where you're going to want to take your profits. So let's go over to our website here and look at a couple from yesterday's watch list or today's watch list from last night. You'll see right up here, we post every day the penny stock watch list or the day trade watch list, basically stocks that are looking to break out anywhere from sub $1 up to $20. And you'll see here's our watch list over here. And then I'll actually just show you over here. For members, we post the alert setups over here. So this is what you'll actually see. We put notes. So we do the watch list, which you can watch on our YouTube, but then we post these every day for members that want to follow. And you'll see, we say what we're looking for, the patterns, the support, the resistance levels, and then areas we're looking for, like at or above a certain level. That's the alert. So when the alert goes off, then you got to know patterns and when to trade them. So if you're new and you're like, how do I do that? We'll take our courses. Number one, we have courses up here. We're going to be adding this penny stocks course under here very shortly. Join our trade room, our day trade room, and come and practice in here. Take and open up a virtual account with a company like Thinkorswim or Interactive Brokers. Paper trade for a few months. Use our watch list. Look at our trade ideas gappers in the morning. Have the watch list. Watch us do our live streams right up here every day. Practice in our rooms. Getting comfortable, and then see, do you like the low floaters? Do you like the medium floaters, or do you like the high floaters? What is your trading type of style? No matter what your trading style is, you need to know patterns and, use those patterns to correlate whether you're going to day trade or swing trade a stock, right? So let's look right here over at, just take this one. This is a little bit higher one. This is $14 stock. We had CWBHF. It said close above the 20 EMA. Watch for potential continuation with resistance at the 50 SMA on the daily. So if we go over right here to the chart, the CWBHF, you'll see right here, I said close above the 20 EMA. And I said watch for potential continuation, right? So we'll go back over there with resistance at 50 SMA on the daily. That is this pink line. It's still holding its highs right now. So if you notice when you're looking at this, the stock continued above 14.23. Now it's up to 15.35. So this stock just is up over $1 today from our watch list. A stock, again, it's got 500,000, almost 500,000 in volume, 400,000. If you bought 1,000, just think about it. If you bought 1,000 shares of this stock, it went up $1. It's not on many people's radars. You could have made $1,000 off our watch list just trading 1,000 shares. And you can decide right now, am I going to take my profits right now? Or do you want to try and hold it a little longer till it goes towards the 50 SMA? Gets a bit risky because you have several green days, but this is where you could decide if you're going to stay in this trade a little bit longer. You can turn it in a little bit longer, but just be aware the stock's up $1, you know, that's some good profits. So this is what you'd want to be looking for. Again, this is still kind of not a great chart, right? So you look at this and you can see this is a highly traded company. So right now it was up at 14 bucks, but it's been down below at 8 bucks. We can see in the previous, you know, so yeah, it's been down to 8 bucks, right? So just to show you guys that we put the alerts out there, you can turn something into a potential swing trade. Using it in the small cap sector, you can see, but this stock right here, it's gone from 10 bucks up to 15 bucks. You got to be careful. It's going to want to probably start to reverse. But this is where you can look at our daily watch list and look at this stuff, you know, with the penny stocks. And then sometimes on the smaller cap stocks, you can swing trade them. I would recommend stocks over $3 up to that $10 range. Buy a little bit less shares, right? So just, you know, we know the appeal of day trading penny or swing trading penny stocks is because they're cheaper. But you can always buy less shares of a higher stock, and you know, it may, you know what I'm saying? So instead of just buying 1,000, you know, you might buy 1,000 shares and this thing might move up, you know, 20 cents. That could be, you know, $200. Whereas like with a penny stock, you got to buy more shares to get more profit. So my whole point being is, you know, when trading these stock, you can trade a $15 stock, let's say, and just buy less shares. Maybe you're buying 100 to 200 shares rather than a few thousand of a penny stock. I'm confusing myself, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm basically just trying to say is you don't have to buy as many shares. You can still profit really well for, again, something like a stock like this. If you bought 100 shares and it went up $1, you made $100, right? Rather than if you bought 1,000 shares of a penny stock and it went up 10 cents, that's your $100. So let's look at a couple more here. Let's look at SLCA at or above 1151. Watch for potential continuation and see if the gap fills just below $12. So at or above 1151. Let's go back to SLCA. Let me zoom in here and you'll see when I built it yesterday, you can see there's a gap, right? So the gap just below $12. So you can see kind of curling around. You can see this gap right on the daily, right below 12 bucks, right? So what did it do? It went up, it filled this gap right around 12 bucks. As it's filled the gap, now it's coming back down. So it hit resistance. Now it's coming back and retesting support. Now, this is a warning sign of a potential reversal down, but this is a stock, you know, you can decide as it's pulling back if it's going to hold and continue up. It might be one right now. I don't like it. It's a little bit bearish getting towards the end of the day, but 1151 up to 1256, right? So there's another one. It had a little over a million volume. If you bought 1,000 shares of this one today, you know, you could have seen, it took a while, you know, for the pattern to form. It formed kind of a symmetrical triangle-ish or a bull pennant pattern right around in here. You could have maybe gotten an entry right around this 9 EMA and scalped it on the way up, right? So again, but it's going to be a quicker trade, right? So these ones, you still want to take your profit out here. Could you be in it longer if you wanted to? Potentially. But you have to be able to know the patterns of, okay, if I can take my profit here and I just made $1, maybe I'm going to take my profit and get out, right? But this is the contrast of just a couple from our watch list right here, not on a ton of people's radar. Those are just two stocks just today alone that went up $1. And now come over here to the ones that everybody was watching, and you see EDSA. Here was pre-market highs. Right over here, right around that 1266, and then it dumped and fell back down. Now, if you went going back to power hour, if the pattern held yesterday, if you saw this, you could have said, okay, so now talking about swing trading or getting in near power hour, you can see this stock went up, pulled back right here to the 9 EMA. You could have said, oh, it's a pennant pattern or a symmetrical triangle. If you got in end of day, you wanted to risk, again, it's, still, it's a kind of a bigger candle to risk off of after a really kind of crazy chart. This thing gapped up. Where are you going to swing trade this, right? It already gapped up. If you don't take your profits here, so you could have got in at power hour, been up a lot, but are you going to swing trade this? Where is this thing going to go? Look at it back here. Here's the chart. So where do you swing trade this? It gapped up and now it's in no man's land. Take your profits. Very hard to swing trade it. ABUS, here's another one. Has a history of pumping and dumping down. Let's take a look and see if you would have found an entry on this yesterday. Again, the scans are not going to pick up many of these right here because they're just, yesterday was right in, you could say that's kind of a flag, but it's not going to hit a high a day scanner at the end of the day. It's not even going to be on your radar. But if you got lucky, if you found this and you got in above, like right at this flag as it broke out, now it breaks out, you're up. You have lots of profit. Well, this is a penny stock. Where is it going to go? It's in this downtrend. There's no guarantee it's going to keep going back up again, and it's smacking off a moving average line. So where do you swing trade it? Are you following me here? So these are some smaller cap stocks. You got to get lucky to get the entry at the end of the day on these before they break out. And once they do, you got to be careful holding them long term because these are stocks that are in an overall downtrend, right? EDSA, overall downtrend. So that's what I want to show you again with our watch list. Again, if you come into our community, we offer lots of resources. We have our watch list every day here. We do a combination again of kind of larger and medium, kind of a diverse. You can see there's 20 million, 30, 70 million. Sometimes we have ones under 10 million. Sometimes we have ones over 100 million, right? Over 100 million, it's going to be higher float. They're going to be slower. They give you a better chance of potentially swing trading them a little bit longer. Under 20 million, it's going to be harder. It's going to be a lot more volatility. So let's take a look at AQB. Just to look at this one, kind of a low float stock here. AQB, we had an alert on that one at right here. AQB. I actually meant this one was an error. Thinkorswim, sometimes when you change things up, this was supposed to be at or above, not at or below, 312. It says a bit overextended, watch for possible continuation day before a possible dump, right? So at or above 312, not below. Thinkorswim gets a little bit annoying sometimes. So AQB, at or above 312. And you'll see right up here, you can see right in this area right here, right here, because it was right near after hours. So I had it right here where it closed, had kind of a cup pattern, right? So you had a big day. So I said a bit overextended. It has a history of pumping and dumping. And what did it do? It creeped up a little bit pre-market, and then boom, just dumped and didn't do much of anything. So this is where you have to be careful, right? So where do you swing trade this? If you have a big gap up, huge day like this, where do you swing trade? Way out here. You want to buy at support levels and sell at resistance levels. And just seeing right here, here's a chart of 2019. I don't see anywhere in here that I would like to swing trade this thing. Maybe, like I don't like any of that chart setup, right? So hopefully this video helped you. Again, lots of resources on our site. Make sure you bookmark our watch list pages right here. Follow them. We teach, again, live streaming every single day in our day trade room and our swing trade room. We do both. We do larger cap stocks mostly in our swing trade room. And we have our courses section right here for you to help you out. We'll be adding a penny stocks course underneath there. So again, hopefully this video helped you on swing trading penny stocks. Be careful doing them, especially stocks sub $3. Be aware of the stocks that we post on our watch list. You can see we post on our blog weekly, our trade alert trigger rates, they trigger about 90+% a week. You know, some of them are ones that just pop up and don't do much of anything, but several of them, you know, they move really good each week. And I just showed you just 2 from our watch list, just from today, going, you know, from a Wednesday into a Thursday, that just moved $1 on some kind of, you know, medium float stocks. You know, ones that were sub $10 have gotten above them. Great way to, you know, profit a little bit before they reverse back down, and it keeps you away from the herd. So if you like the herd mentality, you know, follow our trade ideas gappers every morning, you know, watch us post the low floaters. If you want to kind of stay away from the herd, you know, want to day trade or do some intraday trading, maybe hold for a day or two with some smaller cap stocks, then we highly suggest following our watch list. So again, for the 3rd time, hopefully this video helped you, and we'll see you in our community. Enjoy.